Phase. What moon?
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We've got a special report. A lot of people said, guys, you need to look at this closer. There's apparently a video out, old film from the early 1900s and into the 30s of a possible UFO that's within the German government's assets. And we're going to break it down right here at Third Phase of Moon, and I want to get your thoughts, everybody. Buckle up, because some of the evidence that we're going to be going over is quite incredible. We're going to be going into enhancements, detail, because if this is true, and this kind of technology existed way back when, over 100 years ago, or approaching 100 years, why isn't this technology out for us, the people? Again, this is pretty controversial video. When I first saw it, I'm like, no, this has got to be a hoax. But when we look at some of this a little closer, look at this. We're seeing these men run across the field over there, and you see the flying saucer and the shadows, and it seems very consistent. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm like that. We're looking at this right now. Is this leaked footage? That's a big question. And you know what? I haven't seen any of this, but look at the size of that thing. It's huge. It's like twice the size of your typical airliner. The width and the span of it's massive. Look, they even have two of these flying disc-like craft. You see the larger one in the background, and then we're looking at this one being ramped up on something, and it seems like they're bringing it in or something to some sort of hangar at the point. But look at that. The detail, in my opinion, the way everything's moving, it looks legitimate, Blake. This is not CGI. That's all I'm saying right now. Could it be a movie prop?
Yeah, exactly. The way everything's moving, the shadows are all matching up. The parallax with the camera, with the way the camera's moving around and zooming in, it really gives detail and size and dimension when you see the people running around. And then we look at this even closer. As you could obviously see, this isn't CGI. There is a disc-shaped object with, it seems like military personnel hanging around, guarding it pretty closely. And they're standing to guard whatever this is, and you can see again scale and dimension. I'm going to slow it down just a bit so we get a little closer look. And again, this object is there. It's not CGI implemented whatsoever.
Yeah, you can see actually it's being ramped up. It seems like it's on sort of track system, and it's being moved somewhere. Is it being hidden? Again, look at the look of this spaceship. You could almost feel like we're looking at something from the 1930s or early 40s. And again, it's interesting scale, the small size model. It seems like they got a few prototypes, Blake.
Yeah, you got the large, the small scale, and then the medium size. And again, with the scale and dimension, you can see that this possibly could be, well, it is. It's practical. It's really there in the video, but could it be some kind of practical movie on a set that we haven't seen? Maybe Spielberg working on Indiana Jones or something like this. But then this video pops up, and this is where I started to go, hey, wait a second. This isn't looking as practical as I thought. This is looking more like a CGI effect. You see the craft, whatever it is, hovering over it, and then we get the Glock, or known as the Hanabu, but some people call it the Glock, and it has this bell-shaped kind of shape that defies gravity. And apparently, wait a second, who's looking up at this? Is that Adolf or? Okay, no, that's not him. I'm just getting a still shot. Just wanted to make sure if that's Adolf or not. Apparently, when did Adolf die, Brent?
1945. So this, if that's him, it must be a younger version of him. But again, they have that style of mustache. It's not. I never really did like that look. I don't think that's him, Blake. I think it's just a person that shaved it in the same look as his leader at the time.
Absolutely, but did the leader at the time in Germany have this kind of anti-gravity assets in its possession? A lot of people claim that they have, and a lot of the scientists kind of escaped to Peru and other parts of the world escaping. And some of the scientists even work for the United States. But look at this. We got photographs, even more of this film. This, who knows? Is it just propaganda? Is this some kind of stunt? Again, we're looking at it a little closer with these guys running down there.
It's a huge budget, Blake. Whatever they're doing here, they created these massive props. It could be like a facade. These could all be made of balsa wood or something like that with some cheap cloth over it, and it could all be a gimmick. And maybe it was some sort of like propaganda tape, as you just said. And if the United States saw something like this during those times and during these heated times back in the 30s was a hot time, and if this was a propaganda tape that the United States saw at the time, they'd be scratching their head. What kind of technology do these guys have?
Yeah, I've spoke to Navy pilots and our own Air Force when they do surveillance missions. Could you imagine a pilot in the surveillance mission capturing this as they're in high altitude, and they flew over it back in the day and saw these flying saucer shaped craft with a bunch of people moving around with it? They'd be like, what kind of aircraft is this? But if you maybe get a closer look, like you said, this could be like a big movie set prop, balsa wood. Basically, you could punch through it. It's not metallic. They just painted it up and made it look like what it wasn't. But could it be? That's the big question.
Yeah, do you guys think this is leaked footage, the real deal? What we're looking at is real practical effects, or practical, what we're seeing is in-house on camera. So some of it's truly legitimate, but we don't know where the source is coming from, and that's the big question. That's why we're actually keeping this on the computer screen and shrinking it down a little bit. Just protect us and everybody here at Third Phase Moon when we could share this kind of stuff, but we had to add a little fair use to it and can't really show the whole image. We need to talk over everything we're seeing to keep up with the fair use laws, and we're sharing it with you right now, taking that little risk.
Yeah, we have our expression, our fair use of basically stating what we think it is, our opinions. And I want to get your guys' opinions. What do you think's going on here? Is there this where we're looking at something that really exists? You could basically touch it. This isn't CGI, but then it mixes
again,
with
this. Yeah.
This is what's kind of crazy. To me, I think maybe
this could be their third prototype. Like, this one doesn't match any of the craft that we saw in those first pictures.
True, but then I'm also stating that this looks a lot like CGI in my opinion. Maybe it's real, but then even the Glock, it kind of has this CGI look. I'm thinking that somebody wanted to kind of muddy the waters, put some CGI in, and then wrap it around this real stuff so nobody believes what's really going on when you got the real stuff, and then you mix in the CGI on top of it and leak it out that way. People are going to shrug it off that none of this is real, when maybe some of this actually is real. So this is what I'm wanting to get down to the bottom of. Like, if anybody knows the origin of these videotapes or these old film, the archive is in it. Was it leaked from a historical archive in Germany and leaked out? This is what I want to know.
Yeah, that's a good question, Blake. Where is this coming from? Looking at the quality of this film, it seems a little hazy, and I've read and I've seen German films. Their cameras were very good at that time, and looking at this here, it seems washed out and soft. But again, then I'm thinking, could this have been filmed a few times, or maybe have not been? There could have been only so many film reels. So this could have been filmed on a screen itself, and that's why we're losing quality loss and not the true clarity of what we should be seeing right here.
Absolutely. Maybe there's more cuts that we're not even seeing, and to get our hands on the original film, like you said, Brent, this seems washed down over generations, filming film on film, and then it just breaks down in the quality. We want the original film, and hopefully more cuts, more information. Guys, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think was captured? Is this some kind of big hoax, or is there something to it? Is this a leaked footage of anti-gravity, reverse engineered from alien technology? That's what I want to know, guys. Give us a big thumbs up. Share that link that I just shared in the chat with your friends, and tell them Third Phase of Moon sent you. Blake Cousins, we'll see you real soon. Thanks, Brent.